Candace Owens has just reposted a statement on X that reads, "The genocidal pedophiles just started another war," referring of course to the Jews because Jeffrey Epstein was Jewish, which is like saying all Americans are cannibals because of Jeffrey Dahmer. But of course the more serious question is, how does an opinion that sounds like it was lifted straight out of the protocols of the elders of Zion became mainstream enough to be amplified by one of the most recognizable figures on the American right? Has Candace Owens always been anti-Semitic? I don't think so. Her earlier rhetoric, up until a few years ago, did not center on Jews in this way. So, what changed? First, there's the incentive structure of media to please your audience. But it seems that Candace has taken it to the extreme. As Jeremy Boring, who was her boss when she worked at the Daily Wire, said that when he asked her what she actually believed, she answered, "I believe what the people believe," which suggests she doesn't care about the truth as much as she cares about being popular. And she has probably sensed that talking against the Jews might be at least interesting for her followers, if not resonate with their own opinions. So if attacking Jews becomes engaging or provocative to followers, there's incentive to lean into it. But that brings us back to the same question. Why is that message resonating now? And the answer is that several dynamics have converged to drive the renewed popularity of these anti-Semitic views. The rise in America First and anti-globalist views, the war of October 7th and the focus it has put on the relationship between the US and Israel, and the military financial aid America is giving Israel, and of course, the Epstein files. I don't think people fully understand how psychologically damaging the Epstein files were for the American society. Even in a relatively restrained reading of the Epstein case, it appears that people in the government were aware of what Epstein had been doing and haven't said or done anything to stop it. So people feel like they need answers, they need explanation in order to regain a sense of control. They need to know that they are not being led by a group of immoral and corrupt people. So blaming the Jews is just convenient. And then there's the echo chamber effect. Echo chambers are social environments where all the members tend to hold the same opinions, and in such environments, the opinions gradually become more and more extreme due to what's called in psychology group polarization. Since all you hear are opinions that support your own, your certainty in your opinion increases, which makes it more rigid because you're not exposed to arguments that might point at the weaknesses in your opinion and that might moderate it. And social media hinges on the psychological effect of echo chambers because people generally don't want to hear opinions that differ from their own. It's much easier to just stop following someone whose opinion you don't agree with than to engage in a discussion with them. There's also virtue signaling at play. People demonstrate loyalty by taking slightly stronger positions than the group norm so that there is no doubt they're on the right side. Therefore, what begins as "I distrust Jews because I generally only trust my in-group" can morph into "they are evil," then into "they are all pedophiles," then into full dehumanization. So these are the forces driving this troubling trend, and it's our responsibility to stop it. And the way to do it is by relentlessly confronting it and calling out this anti-Semitic rhetoric whenever we see it. Anti-Semites like Candace and like Tucker Carlson may try to cover their conspiratorial claims with American patriotism sentiment and by saying they only oppose Zionism, not Jews themselves. But when the rhetoric slips into accusations of inherent corruption, pedophilia, or genocidal intent, we are no longer dealing with policy criticism. We are back in the territory of scapegoating, and it's our responsibility to expose that pattern. The story is always the same. Blame Jews for society's failures or for people's individual problems to which they are responsible for but do not have the courage, the discipline, or the ability to fix. So it's our role to show it always comes back to this blood libel logic. They are predators, they are monsters, they molest children, they commit genocides, and therefore we have permission and even a duty to hate them. And this narrative we must consistently confront with determination and without apology.